right, good morning everybody. It's Ethan here, coming to you from the Ute Creek Trailhead in Tarryall, Colorado. And today I'm going to be hiking on the Ute Creek Trail up to the junction with the, I think it's called the McCurdy Trail. And from there heading up to the summit of Bison Peak, which is 12,431 feet. And it is the tallest peak in the Lost Creek Wilderness. So I'm going to start hiking on the trail, cross the Tarryall Creek right there, and I should be getting into the wilderness area in just over a mile. And today's hike is going to be a pretty good one. I'm starting pretty early. I'm starting just before 6 a.m. because this hike is going to be 12.5 miles round trip with about 4,000 feet of total elevation gain. But it should be a beautiful day. They are calling for a 25% chance of thunderstorms starting after noon, so that's why I'm starting so early. But this should be a pretty awesome day. It is a very cold morning right now, considering that it's early June. It's June 3rd and it's about 38 degrees up here right now. But it is supposed to go up to about 55 on the summit today, so it should just get progressively warmer as the day goes on. But anyway, I'm going to get started on the hike, and I will get back to you guys in a little bit. It is just a beautiful morning up here. And I'll tell you, getting on the trail and starting to hike never fails to warm you right up. I was definitely pretty cold when I started the hike, but now that I've been on the trail for a little while, I feel great. And you're getting some beautiful views across the valley there. And of course the views will just keep getting better and better. I haven't really gained much any elevation yet. I think I'm like 150 feet higher than the trailhead. So from what I remember, the first couple miles of this trail don't go up much at all. I've actually hiked in the first 1.5 miles or so of this trail before. I just hiked in to do a little like winter backpacking trip a couple of years ago, which I have a video of actually, which was a lot of fun. But now I'll actually be going all the way up to the end destination. All right, well, I've just reached the boundary with the Lost Creek Wilderness, so everything from here on out will be in the wilderness area. And of course there is a little kiosk for self-issued permits, so I'm gonna fill one out real quick. So it's about this point here in this little clearing, little aspen grove, where I turned off the trail and kind of went back that way on the other side of Ute Creek to find a spot to camp. So from here on out, this is all new territory for me. And I'm about 1.5 miles in. Starting to actually gain some real elevation now. I'm a little over 2 miles in. Haven't checked the altitude in a little while, but I will soon. But yeah, the first like almost 2 miles of this trail, there's hardly any elevation gain at all. I think maybe like 300-400 feet maybe. But now it's starting to get pretty steep. But it's really beautiful out here. Trail has definitely gotten quite steep. I'm at about 10,500 feet right now, so got just under 2,000 feet to go to get to the summit. But I'm definitely getting up higher. Just stopped for a little water break and to admire the view, which is really awesome. So I'm getting pretty high up. I'm at about 11.2 right now, which means I got about 1,200 feet of elevation gain to get to the summit from here. But it's just a beautiful morning up here. I'm really enjoying it so far. This hike has definitely been pretty tough. I mean, you get about 2 miles in, and then once you hit about that 2-mile mark, the trail just gets very steep and just does not let up at all. I mean, I think I'm probably about, I'm not sure, I think I'm probably a little over 4 miles in at this point. And I mean, yeah, it's just been pretty relentlessly steep for the last, you know, like 2.25 miles. But yeah, I've gained a lot of elevation really quick, and here I am over 11,000 feet now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to hiking. Should be breaking tree line pretty soon here. Okay, I have reached the junction with the Brookside McCurdy Trail. So this is the end of the Ute Creek Trail, and you can either take the Brookside McCurdy Trail to the left or to the right. I'm pretty sure I have to go to the right. I'm gonna double check on that, but up there, actually, that's not the summit, but that is the direction that I'm heading. But I think it's this way, but I'm gonna double check real quick. All right, well, I am breaking tree line right now, and I am at about 11,700 feet. I did have a little bit of confusion about which way I was supposed to turn onto the Brookside McCurdy Trail, but I can tell you with 100% assurity that it is a right. But look at these views. This is absolutely incredible. It is gorgeous up here. You can see so many peaks from up here. It's crazy. Everything from the Front Range all the way to the Sawatch Range, and even a little further than that. This is wild. This is just crazy up here. All these rock formations. It's almost like if Moab was at 12,000 feet. This is what it would be like. This is absolutely crazy. I have never seen anything that looks like this anywhere else in Colorado. This is like the most unique tundra walk I've ever done. So I'm actually not sure where the summit is from this vantage point. I don't know if it's like off in that direction or if it's up there. I'm following these rock cairns, so I'll kind of see. I might not. I think that the Brookside McCurdy Trail, which I think I'm technically still on, even though there's basically no trail up here. There's a very faint one, and then obviously some rock cairns. But I think that this Brookside McCurdy Trail keeps going up to McCurdy Mountain, which I think might be that one over there. And if that's McCurdy Mountain over there, then that would mean that this would be Bison Peak, or at least close to it. So I'm thinking that I might need to go in this direction. But I mean, yeah, this is just absolutely wild up here. Like I said, I mean, this is just totally unique. I've never seen anything like this in all the peaks I've hiked in Colorado, all the times I've been above tree line, I've never seen anything that looks anything like this. And of course, the views up here are just absolutely spectacular. So I'm gonna check the map and see where I gotta go from here. All right, well, I did determine that that is not quite the summit of Bison Peak, but it's very close. So this is the direction I need to be going. I'm honestly not sure if there's like an easier way to get up to the summit. I just took a left off of the Brookside McCurdy Trail, and I'm just kind of walking through the tundra. And looks like I have to go down about like 150 feet and then start making the final climb up towards the summit. And like I said, I mean, there might be an easier way to approach this, but from what I saw, it looks like the Brookside McCurdy Trail just kind of heads straight for McCurdy Mountain. And you know, given that, I figured since I can basically, you know, not quite see the summit but almost see the summit from here, I might as well just head straight in that direction, because this definitely looks like a very easy to navigate tundra out here. But yeah, these rock formations up here are just absolutely insane. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I've never seen anything like this above tree line before. Okay, well, I am above 12,000 feet right now, getting really close to the summit. And I actually just encountered the first person I've seen the whole day, and he had a little campsite set up here, which is super cool. I mean, with all these rock formations and everything up here, you could definitely find plenty of good camping spots that aren't too exposed, despite the fact that it's above tree line. So that's really cool. You come here on a day where they're not calling for thunderstorms, come up here, set up camp, and have a fun little overnight. You know what's crazy about this mountain is this is easily one of the coolest peaks I've ever climbed. The trailhead is really easily accessible, and yes, it's a pretty long and tough hike, 12.5 miles with 4,000 feet of gain, but there are lots of 14ers out there that aren't nearly, I mean, don't get me wrong, 14ers are awesome, but there are plenty of 14ers out there, ones that I've done, that aren't nearly as cool as this, and are equally as hard, if not harder than this. And yet, those hikes have just hundreds of people. And up here, I've seen one other person the whole day. It just goes to show that nobody climbs these 12,000 foot peaks. Even one as spectacular as this. It's just me up here. And this should be the summit right up here. All right, I made it up here to the summit of Bison Peak at 12,431 feet. This is incredible. Obviously the views are amazing, but even more so than that, I mean, just all these rock formations up here. This is so crazy. I've literally never seen anything even close to this on any other alpine hike I've done in Colorado. This is so cool. It really feels like imagine if like Sedona or Moab was up over 12,000 feet in like an alpine plateau. And that's what this feels like right now. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like this before. This is easily one of my top 5 favorite hikes I've ever done in Colorado. And the best part about this is that I got the entire summit to myself right now. There's nobody else up here. There was one guy that I saw that was, like I said, camping a little further down. He's about 400 or 500 feet or so below the summit. But up here, it's just me. And it feels so good. There's a little bit of a breeze right now, but it's not too windy. I mean, it feels so good up here. The sun is out, the weather's still perfect. It took me about 3 hours to get up here, so didn't take too long. And yeah, this was super awesome. So, I mean, the mountains that you can see from up here is unbelievable. I mean, you can see all the way out there to the Collegiate Peaks down by Buena Vista. Mount Elbert is right over there. Mount Elbert, Mount Massive. You can see over to the Mosquito Range and the 10-mile range. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on. All the way down the Front Range. You can see Grays and Torreys over there. Mount Evans and Mount Bierstadt off in that direction. I mean, this is just crazy how many peaks you can see from up here. The one peak that I'm not seeing that I kind of expected to get a view of up here was Bison, or sorry, not Bison Peak, that's the one I'm on, was Pikes Peak. And thus far I haven't been able to find Pikes, but maybe I'm just at like the wrong vantage point or something, or maybe it's just a little too hazy in that direction. But then look at that. I mean, all the below tree line stuff down there. I mean, this is why the Lost Creek Wilderness is such a cool place to hike. There is so many crazy spires and rock towers and different formations. And I mean, it's just crazy. Over there, I'm not sure what peak that is actually, but I do know that right there, the next peak over, this one over here, is McCurdy Mountain, which actually, I think, like I was saying earlier in the video, I think if you stay on the Brookside McCurdy Trail, it'll take you to that summit. And that summit, I think, is about 300 or so feet shorter than Bison Peak. But yeah, this is crazy. I'm gonna enjoy these views for a while before starting to head back down, because I got up here at about 9 o'clock. I definitely got some time before, before there's any threat of thunderstorms. So I'm gonna take my time and enjoy it up here. This is so awesome. All right, well, I've been up on the summit for over a half an hour now. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit, so it's getting a little chilly up here, so I'm gonna head back down now. But man, this was just absolutely beautiful. And I think I'm actually seeing like a little bit, looks like a little bit of a faint trail that kind of winds its way down that way. So I'm gonna give that a try, because on the way up here, once I got off the Brookside McCurdy Trail, I was just, I wasn't following any trail. I was just kind of using my best judgment. But I think I'm gonna try to follow that trail, see if that kind of is an easier way to get back down. But I definitely spent a lot of time up here, but I just can't get over how incredible the views are, how cool this summit is. I mean, this is just totally unique, one of a kind. I mean, I don't think there's any that I would venture a guess that, maybe other than some of the other peaks here in the Lost Creek Wilderness, there isn't anything else that looks anything like this in Colorado, and it's pretty awesome. But it's time to head back down. All right, well, I'm walking back through this beautiful tundra. I'm still up here on the summit area. And I will say too that I kind of thought there might be a little bit of class 3 up here near the, to get to the actual summit, but there's really not. I mean, this whole little plateau up here, this is all part of the summit really. It's just that, this specific rock formation is like the tallest rock formation up here on the summit plateau. So if you want to get up there, it's like a tiny little scramble, I guess. But other than that, it's like all class 1. I mean, the only difficult thing about this hike is the fact that it's, pretty long and lots of elevation gain. But it's pretty much all class 1. This is actually, I mean, like I said, this is just an incredible tundra walk to do. This is probably the coolest alpine tundra I've ever seen. Back on the Brookside McCurdy Trail, and still just admiring these views before getting back down below the tree line, which will be pretty soon. I'm at about 11:09 right now. All right, I'm back at the junction with the Ute Creek Trail. So I'll be getting off the Brookside McCurdy Trail. I actually don't know where the Brookside McCurdy Trail ends up in that direction. I think it starts going back down. But definitely, if you get to this trail junction, make a right. It's a right. I can confirm that. Assuming you're coming from the Ute Creek direction. All right, well, I'm back at the wilderness boundary, and I'm glad I am, because I've actually felt a couple of raindrops. There's definitely some weather moving in here. See those dark clouds up there? I mean, I've only felt a couple of raindrops so far, so it's nothing to worry about, especially since I'm like a mile away from the trailhead right now. But I'm definitely glad I got that 6 a.m. start, because it actually ended up coming in a little earlier than predicted. It's only about 11:30 right now, and they were saying 30% chance starting at noon. Actually, they were only saying 25% chance starting at noon originally. And it's just funny, it goes to show that when they say 20 or 25% chance of rain, when you're in Colorado, that means it's gonna rain. But anyway, like I said, I'm about a mile away from the trailhead right now, mile and a quarter. So I should be getting back probably just before noon, I would imagine, which is great time. All right, guys. Well, I am just about back at the trailhead. There is Tarryall Road right there. There's the creek right down there. And if you look over there, those cars right over there, that is the trailhead parking lot. So I am just about back. And definitely glad I'm getting back when I am. There's lots of dark clouds in the sky. I mean, there's still some sun showing, but there's definitely some weather moving through here. It was, it's been raining on and off for about the last 20 minutes, but there's still a couple of people like trying to make their way up to the summit, and you know, you don't want to be mean to them, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, there's no way you're gonna make it up there before, you know, 1 or 2 o'clock in some of these people's cases. But anyway, I guess it's not really my business. So yeah, this was a really incredible hike. Super cool. I mean, that was, like I said, easily the most unique summit I've ever been on in the entire state of Colorado. And it's definitely a great hidden gem hike to do. It's a little before noon, so it took me just under 6 hours to do this whole hike round trip, including spending about 45 minutes up on the summit. So I mean, if you're, you know, if you've done a few 14ers and stuff and you're looking for a really unique summit hike that doesn't have any crowds whatsoever, then I would highly recommend hiking Bison Peak. And if you really want to go crazy, you can throw in McCurdy Mountain as well. That one's about, I think, about like 200 or 300 feet shorter than Bison, and it would be probably about 17 miles round trip with like well over 5,000 feet of gain. So it'd be quite the endeavor. But if you really want to go crazy, there's lots of options once you get up there. Great backpacking spot too. So yeah, it's all around a really great place. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys soon for more awesome hiking adventures. Have a good one.